Hello everybody, welcome to another review. So I'm going to be reviewing the brand new album by Of Mice and Men. This is Another Miracle, the fifth album under Aaron Pauley being the lead singer. Now, I reviewed Tether back in 2023, and that was honestly one of my favourite albums of the year, unpopular opinion aside, as Tether is probably seen as the worst album of Mice and Men, at least for the Aaron Pauley era, but I don't know if it's worse than the Cold World album, the last one that Austin Carlile properly worked on before being kicked out of the band under the allegation stuff. So, Of Mice and Men, honestly, I feel like Aaron Pauley gets quite a lot of flack. He's doing his best to try and keep the kind of spirit of the band going, and while he also lost Shaylee as well, which was quite a big part of Mice and Men's songs, I feel like we still get the charm of Mice and Men on this record as well. Tether was not liked really because it was basically like Echo, minus the heaviness. You still had some kind of heavier fronted songs like Eternal Pessimist, but compared to what they had on Echo, it barely scratched the surface, and it was an album that didn't really have many breakdowns, many heavy points, and I feel like, honestly, I quite like that album. I just thought, well, yeah, it's more accessible. I feel like it generally brings out a lot of good melodic aspects that's only really hated by true Of Mice and Men fans, so I was not too bothered, and I honestly thought Tether had some of my personal favourite songs on there just for emotional attachment. But Another Miracle is here, and honestly been looking forward to this one. I feel like when it came to an album I've been waiting forward to from early this year, announced to the end of the year, this is the main one I've been looking forward to, and the reason why I'm still steadily awaiting reviews, because you might miss stuff like this. So I'll go through track by track because I do want to give my thoughts and feelings on them individually. So A Waltz is the opening track, and it is a face melter. It's one of the heaviest songs they've done in a very long time. It definitely reminds me of Earth and Sky when it comes to a bit more of the kind of aggressive aspect. The only thing I think A Waltz kind of suffers with is it repeats this 1-2-3 line so much that it kind of takes away a little bit. I get why they do it, but it's the only thing I'd really change with this song. Other than that, this is just honestly an amazing heavy song, and going from Tether's discography to the Tether album to this, rather, it must be a shock to the system, at least. So then we have this next track, which is the third single, Troubled Water. I like this one. I think the mixing is kind of already being a problem here. I just think the biggest issues I can see already is the writing, and the mixing just kind of feels off. The writing isn't quite as solid as previous records, and the mixing definitely has kind of this bit weird sound. Like, it's not bad, but it's noticeable, and that's kind of the issue I have with it, and Troubled Water was the one that made me hear it. But minus that aside, Troubled Water, I just love the energy on this one. It's such a great concrete Of Mice and Men song. It's a heavy hitter, and the breakdown at the end with just the absolute really long, powerful, unclean from Aaron Pauley is great. I like this one. It was a great single, probably one of the more liked ones, I think, and I can kind of see why. Then we have Safe and Sound, first Tamer track, and I like this one. I think the chorus is pretty decent. I think the song as well isn't too bad, but definitely one of probably the weaker songs on the record. Just I feel like when they do a Tamer song, they get a bit more oomph out of it. This one just kind of feels like a standard Tamer song, and that's fine, but it doesn't really do too much. I think I prefer the first two tracks to this one, but Safe and Sound isn't anything bad, so we're still doing alright. Hourglass is the arguably the heaviest song on the album. I feel like A Waltz is a stronger, powerful delivery of the heavier sound. And Hourglass is also just consistently heavy. It doesn't quite have the memorability that A Waltz has. I guess it's just because it repeats 1-2-3 and it has a more powerful guitars. But Hourglass is still sick. It's definitely one of the heaviest songs in the entire catalogue of Mice and Men. So props to them for that. Hourglass is just incredible. Then you get one of the tamest songs of Mice and Men's catalogue, Wake Up. I will be honest, I know this one wasn't very liked, but I really like this single. I think it's very catchy, probably one of the strongest when it comes to that. I like the calmer aspect. I don't really need them to be full on aggressive, and it kind of reminds me of they're trying to little bits of Tether intertwining with kind of the standard sound, and Wake Up definitely made me think of that. I like this one a lot, honestly. Very overhated single, just a fun one. Flowers, the last single right before the album came out. This one was great, honestly. The instrumentation has this cool little like electronic-y sprite sound. I don't really know how you describe it, but I like the addition to it. The chorus is very nice. I like how the song kind of just intertwines into the heavier stuff. It's a very catchy song, just like Wake Up. I don't think you should have had these two back to back though on the album. Just kind of felt a bit weird that you're putting the two most catchiest songs back to back. And this doesn't stop because you have Another Miracle. This was the lead single. Again, another catchy song. This one is very good in my opinion. It's just got this kind of like nice, more kind of Echo feel to it, and I kind of like that because Echo is probably the most concrete album from Aaron Pauli era. Either that or Earth and Sky. But personally, I align more with Echo, as I think the songs just hit harder and just grab you more. But Another Miracle was sick. I like this one. Contact, one of my favourites on this one. It's very catchy. Yeah, you got the most catchy songs back to back. I love the chorus on this one. I think the way that the heaviness kind of builds up after the first chorus is nice. Contact's just got a very good sound. I love the way that the riff starts. Yeah, this one's just a fun song, to be honest. Nothing like extraordinary, but it's definitely one of my favourites from the record. Parable, probably one of the more forgettable tracks. I don't really have anything against it. I just don't really remember this one. It's just kind of a fine track. The chorus is whatever, but it's decent. Somewhere in Between is definitely one of the more kind of face belter songs. They definitely saved a heavier song towards the latter half of the record, and I'm glad they did. Somewhere in Between kind of breaks the mold of the some of the tamer ideas. It's definitely got this. It's got a nice chorus. It's got very fun guitars, and I just think this one stands out quite a bit. Swallow, and again, just similar to Parable. I don't really remember this one. The chorus isn't anything amazing. It's better than Parable at least, but not one that I often really think about, to be honest. As a matter of fact, I had to look at the track list just to make sure I didn't miss this one, so I don't think that gives you the best example. But structure-wise, these songs are good still. They're fine, good. They're not bad songs at all. I just think some of them just get very overshadowed by others. And then Infinite, it's a very good album closer. I like how it just kind of feels like a Tether song, just kind of calm experience. Then it just builds in the heaviness, and then pretty much just keeps like running the ball rolling to the end. And yeah, that's pretty much Another Miracle. Now the thing I have with this record is that I don't think there's quite a song that really jumped out at me as much as Echo and Tether, and I don't know if that just makes me think I prefer those albums, because honestly I'd personally say I think this is a better record than Tether 100%. But Tether's just got kind of this weird feel. There were songs like Castaway I just really enjoy, Warpaint, Enraptured is another favourite. I really like Shiver as well, and Integration, I believe is the first song. Yeah, honestly I like the ideas of Tether, even if it wasn't a very well received album, but I kind of feel like with Mice and Men, they either play it a little too safe on some of the songs here, or they just kind of go wild. Sometimes you get to hear like Aaron Pauli just excelling all these crazy ideas into a song, and then I think that creates some of the best stuff. And then other songs, they just kind of feel a bit stripped back and just kind of need a bit more substance to it. But honestly, I think for Another Miracle, it's probably one of the best results from this era of Mice and Men we've had. I definitely prefer this to Defy if I'm going from Aaron Pauli's like proper introduction with the band. Earth and Sky is a good album. I do quite like this one a lot. I think that one's more consistent in what it wants to be. But then you get Echo, which I just think has a perfect mixture of everything. Whether that's tracks like Obsolete or Pulling Teeth, to Bloom, and even title track Echo and Fighting Gravity. You just get so many different stuff, even Anchor too. And then Tether is just kind of a bit more on the tamer side, which I enjoy as well personally. But Another Miracle, it stands out as just being like this very kind of odd album of theirs. Like, it's generally a very good effort. I really enjoy what this record. I personally think it's got some really good ideas, but I don't think there really is any of their like personal top five best work on it either. I will still give it a 4 out of 5 though. I mean that's probably a high bar, but the only reason I'd give it that is because I feel like there isn't anything really bad with this album. Even Tether had kind of a few dud tracks, I would admit, and but I'd probably say this is up there with like Echo, probably not as good personally, but definitely one of the better Aaron Pauli records. I mean, Hourglass, A Waltz, Wake Up, Flowers, Contact, Another Miracle, Troubled Water, even Infinite. Those are just generally some absolute banger songs, and even the other stuff I haven't mentioned still has some good elements to it. So personally, I quite enjoy this album. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next video.